I'm buried under cats right now. On my chest, neck, legs just kind of stuck. I want to get up and go cook myself something to eat. I ate earlier, so, still running a little bit off of breakfast, but it's late enough now to make dinner. And, yeah, I got that job to go to tomorrow. That's gonna be fun and exciting in its own way. But, mm, I'm just thinking to myself about. So, oh, excuse me, Ken. Excuse me. Thank you. Off you go. But, I'm just thinking to myself right now. I found another job application type thing that's willing to give me a bit of a chance. And I contacted them. It was a more informal type setting, more DM based and things like that, direct message based. So I sent them a direct message, and even though they had put out that ad a while ago for looking for positions, the person I contacted was like, "Oh yeah, you know what? Still, even though that was a while ago and we did hire a few, well, we could still take on some more or hire a few more, or just hire more." So I got into contact with the person more. I sent them portfolio links, some examples, and I'm hoping that right now the person is, well, obviously I don't know if right now this instant they're reviewing it, but that the last thing the person said was like, "Cool, I'll check through these," and I was like, "Thank you." And so that's where it left off, was with that, which is nice. That's very hopeful. I'm hoping something comes of it. One, it was nice to speak to an actual person, and two, I'm getting a shot. The person's actually going to look through my work, not just like a resume, or, I got to be more hands on. And how I got a person, or what I got to show the person, examples of work for them to go off of. And, I've been trying very much so, as much as I can. I'm really hoping something comes of it. I think I would do really good if. Yeah. But after yesterday's journal, I do feel a bit better. Getting all that off of my chest, all that kind of stuff that I talked about yesterday, But, oh, man, I am tired. I'm working through a lot. 2 days worth of working on laundry. The way that where I live works is that there's a limited amount of energy to use, and there's a lot of stuff I can't do at the same time as laundry, so laundry just kind of goes and goes, and preserving energy, having to stop it at certain times to allow energy to other systems. And yeah, but it's done. So laundry's done, but it drained me quite a bit. It's always a process whenever it comes around, just due to the size of my washer being pretty small. So just a lot of loads. A lot of loads. Ugh. Anyway, Yeah, I'm glad I did get all that off of my chest yesterday. And I've just kept trying, kept going, and I really am hoping. And you know what, yesterday, I said something like, maybe pointing it out, it'll be like, oh no, he's catching on. Now we have to do something before he catches on too much. So I'm doing it again. I'm saying it right now. Life patterns, what usually happens. I got my eye on you. So, I'm trying. I'm trying here. I'm trying here. You better help. You better not get in the way and mess with me. Don't mess with me. I'm watching. I'm on. I'm on to you. I've put my best foot forward that I have. And this is something with real hope to it. So I'm telling you, better not keep me stuck at 0. I know where I'm at. I can see it, and I can see what you usually do. So you better not get in my way if you know what's good for yous. What's good for, yeah, what's good for yous. If you do, I'll get upset. And you don't want to see me when I'm upset. I'm a real force of nature. I'm a fighting lion. Excuse me, kitten. Ugh, okay, I gotta get up now. But anyway, look, I love you too, kitten. I love you too, but please stop trying to sit on my neck. You could sit right next to me. Look, like right here. See, this is comfy too. Good, you're gaining weight again. Good, good. Look at this chunk. All right, no more sitting on my neck. Especially when I'm trying to talk. I love you. Go on. But yeah, it was nice to get all that, and I'm pointing it out. So, hoping something comes of it. I really do. And something that happened today that got me is I found a beautiful art style. Amazing. It just made my heart sing, my heart flutter. And it was like I could see the future of some of my drawings. Just like, this is a style I want to emulate and pull into my fold, assimilate, make it my own. And I could just imagine it, seeing it, just like, yes, I've been looking for something like this. Oh man. And I shared it with my one very good friend, and I was just like, look at this. It makes my heart sing. It's lights my heart on fire. It makes me want to just go and draw. I could imagine it's the exact look I was trying to picture for some of these characters, but I couldn't quite put it down. But now I can see the future, and it just made my heart light up. Yeah. So that was good. I wrote that down. Like, there are very... I do have a social media, and very rarely do I ever follow anyone. I don't follow, really, unless it's like especially... unless it's something that like especially catches my eye or my interest, or it's like I'm changed, that kind of thing. Like, this is like, if I lose this, it'll be over, and I want to see more of this. So now I officially have, you know, one more thing that I've followed added to. So it was nice to have that. It felt cool to finally find something else like that. Oh, my kitten, please, not right now. You lay on me all the time. All the time. You don't have to lay on me right now. And make those cute little sounds. Hold on, I need use of my windpipes. So just that was cool to find. On top of that person contacting me and telling me that, yeah, we'll check you out and we'll see, maybe, we could possibly work with you, check the portfolio. So that was cool. And yeah, I mean, there's not much more to say. I'm a little too tired today to go over any grander or bigger ideas, or read anything out, or make this journal too long today, A little too tired, but, leaving that for tomorrow, I can definitely feel it's going to encourage me for tomorrow's journal. But, it's just a little too tired to do it right this instant. But I'm glad I'm doing the journal anywho, just with more relevant stuff. Yeah. Another thing I've just been thinking about is finding that balance between self-enjoyment, self-creativity, and just like, you know, creative expression, true creative expression, and the balance of like maybe creating as like a job to make money, and when those two things align, could they even become the same? When do those two things align? I don't necessarily think that true creative expression is just doing things entirely from intrinsic motivation. I do believe you can have true creative expression with extrinsic motivation, but I think it just depends on the balance between the two, and whether it aligns with what you want to do and your goals. I'd imagine it could be a magical moment when extrinsic and intrinsic align, and suddenly it's like both are just driving you forward on what you're doing. But there are just so many things I can't really keep track of. But there was like something I listened to or watched the other day that worded it better than how I'm saying it right now. But I can at least retain the principle, the basic idea of it, which is just finding that extrinsic intrinsic balance. And not everything necessarily has to be the same or on the same wavelength. You have different things for different reasons. And I was thinking about that also with art styles today. Part of me when I see a new art style, like I also get overwhelmed by all the possibilities of drawing like that. And I gotta remind myself, like, you can draw on that when you want to draw like that, and you can stop drawing like that when you feel like it. I think my brain imagines the hours or, minutes or whatever spent drawing in that, and it's like, it'll be forever. It's like, no, it'll be for like an afternoon. You'll draw in that way, and then, you'll be satisfied, and then, draw in a slightly different way the next time, or things like that. Or even within styles, you can have tons and multiple looks. I mean, one I kept thinking about today is like Akira Toriyama. If you look at his art wasn't always full of like the hatching and the clothing folds and the details. Sometimes he would just draw on a more pop art kind of look with basic, like even lines, dark even lines, flat popping colors, flat shading. Not like the colors themselves are flat, but it would just be like very clean, like especially with like Arale and early Dragon Ball. You would see some artworks he would do where it was more painterly and inked. There was distinct shading, and there was like folding, not fold, clothing folds, folding lines that he would draw, and everything had sort of like a fabric or material to it, and then there was shading. The line work was like thin line work, more detail on the hair, more clothing folds, more hatching to add details to certain things, more texture, more material, more, as I just said, it's more detail oriented. So thinner lines, more line work like drawing, that kind of thing. More painterly inks and shading, blending of colors and things like that. And then other times, with those same, one week he would do that, and the next week he would do something that's just like thick line work, drawn in a very pop art, graphic. That's the word I'm looking for. Not pop art, but like graphic style, like thick line work, solid, flat shaded colors, bright. If the hair is depicted, it's like a few thick lines with the color doing most of the work of separating different parts. And like not as much, the clothing detail is mostly in the outline more than the inner details in those ones. So it was cool to see to me. And there are other manga artists and artists like that who regularly like jumped between the two. They could go from something being detailed with textures, materials, form, thinner lines, and then would draw something that's more graphic like, and the ability to like take something from one look and depict it in the other. That just that does it for me. that that makes me happy. I want to continue to try and do that for myself. But yeah. So kitten, you're falling on me. Can't breathe. Excuse me. Excuse me. There we go. There we go. Clingy baby. I love you. I love you. Yes. Yes. All right. So I think that'll be it for today's journal for today.